Hello and welcome to the Hotkeys podcast. This is a show where we talk about everything pop culture and random in the world. I'm your host Mick, and I'm joined by Dave, Landon, and Will.
Hello.
Hello there.
Guess what today is, guys?
America
It's
Day.
America's birthday.
The July of the 4th.
Fourth.
What?
Whoop whoop.
July 4th, 2020.
Yay. Good job, America. You've been
We
doing such a
made
great
it.
job recently in the current world events. Oh, gosh.
Everyone
it
has
seems
their
weird to-
struggles.
It seems weird to be celebrating, right?
We're literally killing it.
Yeah.
Like,
Literally.
Oh my.
Yikes. Yeah, it's just like probably the most unpatriotic July 4th that I'm probably ever going to see in my lifetime. But
Well, don't say
actually,
that yet.
don't say that yet. Like 2021 might be worse than 2020. You never know.
But you know what? You could do your part in making it a good fourth.
yeah.
Yeah, but like for the problem is I don't feel very like America heck yeah today. I don't know. It's just with everything going on, I just feel
Maybe
down.
it's something inside of you need to change.
I don't know. I don't think that's the problem.
Yeah, maybe there's something outside of me that needs to change. Like, oh gosh. Well, it is July 4th, and
You guys have any fun plans?
well, I think I'm just gonna
Setting
hang
off
out
fireworks?
with family and friends. You know, the usual July 4th.
I'm gonna go to Will's house.
Yeah, my place.
Is your mom cooking any good
Party.
food?
Yes, she is
Yay.
making chili something. I can't remember.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly what it's called, but I had it before and it's absolutely fantastic.
I'm sure it's gonna be great. You could have been like your mom's making, like you could have been like my mom's making like Brussels sprouts and like a bunch of just vegetables. I'm like, I'm sure it would taste pretty good. Your mom always makes everything.
Brussels sprouts, actually, you can cook them
Oh my god.
and like they taste really good. All you need is just a little bit of butter and salt and pepper. And if you just kind of
No, you
boil
need
them?
a lot of butter.
you don't need a lot.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
But are they still healthy for you, even if you put in the butter and the salt and oil?
Yeah. I mean, you don't need
Okay.
butter and oil. You
So-
can just use just butter.
Okay.
You need bacon grease.
Because
That would be
butter.
actually-
a
yeah,
lot of things is I like to coat my peas in butter basically and just drown them in butter. So I'm just
Oh my.
basically like eating the butter, but
I
then
don't
it's just
really
not
like-
healthy
I
anymore.
don't really like peas that much.
I love
like peas.
Peas are great.
I haven't. Okay.
My wife does not like peas. She thinks they're gross and mushy, but I love peas.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want me to talk about how much I love peas?
The way that you
Landon?
described it was just so odd. Just like
Yeah. That's pretty vulgar.
Peas,
Yeah, I
peas
love
are
the
like a top.
mushiness of peas.
Peas are like a top
My mouth.
5 veggie.
top 5 veggie, really? I don't know. I'd say top 5 veggies. Oh, they might be.
Are they?
Carrots,
not-
onions, asparagus, peas, and
Brussels sprouts.
Butter.
Ooh, salt and pepper.
I think easily like the top vegetables are like tomato and lettuce. I feel like.
Tomatoes are fruit.
I don't like tomato.
Oh, you're right. Tomato is a fruit. Never mind. So like lettuce has got to be up there for everybody.
You
I
know,
feel like.
back in the days, people thought tomatoes were poisonous. And
It's a good callback.
No.
Anyway, so yeah, happy 4th.
Yeah. America,
It'll be-
boys.
It'll be a fun day. So we could talk about this briefly because it's like a 7-year-old game, and it's probably not that interesting to
No,
most people.
no,
but
it's definitely.
It's
Dave,
topical, though.
Dave,
It is
you
topical.
and I beat The Last of Us finally.
Yeah, the
Part
first
one.
Last of Us.
You finally beat Last of Us,
Mhm.
Dave. You beat it.
I
Yeah.
did.
We
And
got-
I beat the DLC too. The Left Behind of Us.
Dave, you were almost left behind when we finished the last of us.
What'd you guys think of the game?
It sucked.
Okay.
It was terrible.
Ah,
Worst game ever.
why? Why?
Because it wasn't Uncharted.
You know, why are we towing ladders around when we could be jumping through trains like
Oh
in
my
Uncharted? Like,
It gets a little old when you're like, oh, I gotta drag another raft, like another like pallet of wood. For, like,
Yeah.
to hop on. You're like,
Wow,
God
this
dang it.
plank of wood is the exact size of this gap between
Yeah.
these two buildings. What a
You know,
coincidence!
I mean, Joel is not the youngest, spryest guy, but there were some of those where, like, when you cart the pallet over, that I was like, why can't then he just climb on the pallet and then climb up the same way that Ellie did? There were some of those that
Well, maybe you should be a developer at Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
because you have some great ideas.
I think that's
It wasn't
probably,
great ideas. It was just a little like immersion breaking, I guess.
But
'Cause, like,
you'll run into those problems all the time with Naughty Dog games, especially because there's like a cliff face that you can climb up, but then there's like some scaffolding that you can't climb.
Yeah.
It's like, why can't I climb that? There's clearly handholds and footholds that I could climb. I could climb that in real
because
life.
you can only climb something if it has like a yellow paint or a red paint on it, because it lets you know that that's climbable.
I'm talking about in Last of Us.
Well, in Last of Us, it's yellow. Like oftentimes,
not.
yeah, there'll be
Like a lot-
yellow. A lot of stuff. There's like yellow hints that kind of show you that this is something that's
I turned off
climbable.
the yellow hints.
Well, it's
Wait, what? I'm so confused.
No, I really liked Last of Us. I thought it was a great game. When I tried playing it for the first time 7 years ago, I couldn't get into it because I think I was expecting Uncharted.
Uncharted.
Yeah, Uncharted type
Uncharted
of game.
M-rated.
But I mean, there are similarities like that, but it is a totally different game. And it was done really well. And I think the high praise of both Uncharted and Last of Us are the characters and the characters' relationships. Excuse me, with other characters, and I think it's done really well.
I almost think that you can't compare, like, this is Uncharted, Last of Us talk. I almost think you can't compare the two games because they're so different, almost.
I mean,
from my opinion, because
they're very different in tone
and very different in focus. I
and
feel,
very
too.
different in, I guess, the feel of the game. There are a lot of similar mechanics.
Mhm.
The presentation.
The presentation is very similar because they're both done very cinematically and very well.
Mhm.
The shooting
But
feels very identical.
The shooting feels very similar. Really, really bad. A third over the shoulder third person, not very precise. I ran into that like so many times with Uncharted 2, where I'm like aiming down and I'm like nailing this guy in the head, and it's just not. It's not doing anything.
I think that fits a little bit better in The Last of Us with how like you're not firing as many bullets. Like I think it works a little bit better because like
I think my main weapon in Last of Us was probably Molotov and a brick.
Yeah,
Like
agree.
I felt better
throwing a
going into a
brick-
fight with that than any gun.
Yeah, throwing a brick and then sprinting at someone and stabbing them with your shiv or knocking them out or something was always a very effective method to take people out, because some of the guns, especially like the handguns, you really had to be very good at aiming unless or you weren't gonna get an easy kill, and you
Or
only have
just-
like
or
6
just
bullets anyway,
avoiding
so.
Enemies altogether, just sneaking around them. I did that quite a bit. Like I don't even want to fight you.
yeah.
I got no beef.
Yeah.
So, a quick question: what did you two think of the story in general? Just more specifically on the story. Do you think it was good, bad?
So I guess for
room
anyone
improvement?
anyone out there that cares, we're gonna spoil the first Last of Us game
It's been out for a while.
that
but you
came
should
out
play
in
it.
2013.
Yeah, an old game
Uh,
should always get spoiled. I'm a firm believer in that.
Quick,
that was-
you guys, quick on your toes. What's a game we can spoil for Will?
No,
Really
no.
quick?
I'm joking. I'm always adamant about spoilers. Even
Mario
no matter the
64. Mario wins.
Bowser dies.
You get the
Yeah.
stars.
You save Peach. No, I liked it a lot. The way the game ends is like a gut punch to the character and you, because what happened. Dave, maybe you can explain it better than me. Why don't you explain it?
Well, you want to jump straight to just the end of the game
No,
right
we should start like
Yep,
work
end of the
through-
game.
No, I think we should work through like probably the
Because I mean, I think because the story.
Okay, so give us a what was the game about? Give us a brief rundown.
Well, the story is a relationship between these two people, between this like middle-aged man who at the very beginning of the game loses his daughter, and then later, years later, after this, apocalyptic infection has ravaged the world or America or whatever, he gets connected with this girl who's like 13 or 14 or
14.
something.
It's sad
then-
because his daughter doesn't even die from an infected. It's a military extermination.
Oh, so the
Yeah.
military's the bad guy, huh?
That she gets caught up in.
So he loses his daughter, and then years later he gets connected up with Ellie, who he's trying to he has this very focused mission to get her to a specific place, but he's trying really hard not to emotionally connect with her because was so hurt by the loss of his daughter. And then there's this girl Ellie who is has never really experienced much love in the world, because I mean it's a hard place to find love, and she was.
I would also say outside of like she's like only lived in like Boston. I don't think she's ever gone outside the city walls.
She was in
like,
she was in the quarantine zone.
In the quarantine
essentially,
zone,
her whole
QZ.
life, which didn't sound like it was a great place to live. I mean, it was basically like she had military.
It was like a military school.
Yeah.
So they, there's this kind of like fight between like how they grow together as the two of them in this relationship, and that is the story. Is their, how their relationship changes as they travel across the United States, because you start in Boston and you go to Pittsburgh and you go to Wyoming, and where else do you go?
I think it ends
Colorado.
in Salt Lake City is where it
Salt
ends.
Lake City, yeah. So yeah, you're traveling across the U.S. trying to get to this specific place to drop Ellie off, because she is she's like this key to possibly curing this infection that has ravaged the land. And I think the best part of the game is watching the relationship grow between the two of them, and how that happens throughout their trip.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Definitely, I think that's the reason I like the first one so much, is the relationship between those two, and seeing it grow was absolutely fantastic. And
right, there was a very satisfying character arc, especially with Joel.
Yeah.
And
it makes it. Go ahead, Landon.
I was just gonna say it's kind of cool that it kind of really they're the only two kind of characters really in the game that like are in it the whole way through. Like you kind of come across other characters and interact with them for times, but like it's just you two basically for the whole experience. Like people help you or people hurt you along the way, but like
it makes for a very focused and satisfying experience.
Yeah, very simple. Will's like smirking at me because Will's a hater.
Stuff about the second game.
I'm not saying it.
Yeah, we're not talking about the second game.
I did not say a single thing.
Will
I
was
did not say a
smirking at
single
me.
thing.
Will was
I didn't
smirking
say
at
a
me, though.
single thing. You can't prove that.
We have video recording of this. We can absolutely prove this.
No, wait, please. I'll do anything.
How do you
Dave, go to the tapes.
But just really quick, one more question about the game. What did you think of the ending? And basically, because the character makes a very controversial and gray decision, and did you think that the character was in the right?
So basically, Ellie, she is immune to this infection that has ravaged the whole world.
It's basically a zombie infection. It's super close to it, but it's not.
Yeah. So he's trying to get her to this like safe zone area where they can basically mass produce like this giant antidote.
Or antidote, or vaccine or something.
So he gets her there, but it turns out that in order for that to happen, she dies basically.
Yeah,
they can't do the procedure without killing her.
Yeah, because the stuff's in her like brain. Like,
so
fungal stuff or whatever.
Since Joel throughout the game has grown to really care for this girl, as like a father and daughter figure, which is what I was talking about with his character arc. It was cool to see him care again, because up until that point, it was like Joel's just like very closed off and doesn't want to put himself out there again. But so Joel obviously is not okay with that, and he rescues Ellie from being killed. But obviously that means all of humanity will not get this cure that could completely stop this.
I mean, he murders a lot of people too, and
he murders a lot of people. That's the thing too. Like, I wouldn't consider Joel a protagonist in terms of like his moral decisions and being a good guy.
He's a protagonist, but he's not a hero. That's what I would argue.
An anti-hero.
Yeah, basically.
Especially considering, I mean, I've thought about it a lot more in like the character of Marlene, the character that initially hands off Ellie to you, and you end up rendezvousing with her at the hospital. Like, she's known Ellie her whole entire life.
Right, yeah.
And it was somewhat of a mother figure, because I think it's like implied that Ellie's mom kind of abandoned her.
And actually that's touched, I think, in the Left Behind, where Ellie talks about that like she didn't really know much of her mother. And like you could ask questions to the girl you're walking with about like, did Marlene talk about my mom? Like is there anything that because she wants to learn about her mom, because she doesn't know anything about her.
Yeah, so it's like Marlene's almost somewhat of a mother figure to her.
because so you escape the hospital with Ellie and you run into Marlene. She's like the last person you have to deal with before you get out of there. And she's saying like, I get it. It's hard. I love Ellie too. And,
but it's for the greater good.
But it's for the greater good.
And it really is.
I think there's some more morally gray about just the greater good. That's what I'll put down in my contribution to the discussion.
I don't know if it's worth, like, I don't know how you guys feel about these kind of discussions, but the writer and director of the game did kind of like say that like it was a slam dunk cure, like on the record for the story, that like if they would have gone through with the procedure with Ellie.
Oh yeah, and I had no doubt that was the case.
Yeah. Now, like Joel might not know that, but I think
Joel believed that too because he worked so hard to get her there. I mean,
right.
Yeah,
he believed in this idea
because he saw that
a cure.
He saw that she could go through the spores, which the spores were a thing in the game where basically if you inhale them, you're done. Yeah, you become infected too. And she was walking through these areas where spores were without a gas mask on.
Yeah.
So he came to realize that she was actually the real thing, and so I think he did believe that it would work.
I mean, I have no doubt that it would work, but just my problem is that I don't think that in the world situation it would have helped much because of everything is because you find out that the Fireflies through their recordings are kind of a bunch of nutcases a little bit.
Some of them, and there's some they've done terrorist acts and stuff.
They're basically they're like a hair's breadth away from terrorists in some situations, and you can argue, well, like everybody is, but then I think that goes to show that. That's good.
Would you
stop saying that?
Hot Fuzz, good movie.
Yeah. But I think it goes to show that the cure would not have helped as much as I think the game tries you to believe it to.
I mean, logistically, it would be like tough to work with, but once you started getting things going, I mean, like they were working out of a hospital and they had real surgeons that were.
Well, I just
and not only real surgeons, but like surgeons. Like I mean, like you're like they're 20 years into the apocalypse. I mean, the longer and longer you go, you're going to start running out of people that lived before the outbreak happened. I feel like so it's like this seemed like a good shot at it. Like,
is Joel probably like in his 50s?
I think so. I think he's probably
or like 40s, like late 40s.
Yeah, I'd say mid to late 40s is what kind of what my guess was.
Yeah.
For me, it's just that I don't think that the cure would fix the world.
I have a question then, Will.
Against that.
Like, I think the three of us, Michael, Landon, and I, are kind of under the assumption that it would have. Now, if you believed that it would have, does that change? Because, like, the characters, Joel doesn't know that. Like, he doesn't know if it's going to make a difference or not. I assume that he did think that the cure was going to be helpful, since he worked so hard to get her there.
Yeah.
So if you are under the assumption that it is helpful to humanity to get this cure, like if you go off of that, does that change your opinion at all?
Opinion on what exactly? Can you specify
the choice at the end?
On the choice, on the choice that Joel makes to.
But I don't think we've said what actually happens at the end. So what happens at the end? Joel runs into
the OR.
Marlene. Is that her name?
Marlene. Yeah.
He ultimately decides the selfish decision and kills Marlene and takes Ellie away. And
I mean, he basically flat out murders Marlene.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, I mean, like,
yeah.
There's no. She
even said like nothing has happened yet that can't be undone.
Yeah.
Just give me back Ellie, and everything's fine.
Yeah.
He kills her,
even though you killed 35 of my men.
Yeah.
He and this whole time Ellie is still like passed out.
And she's been unconscious since before you even get to the facility.
Right. So she's had no choice in the entire matter. Now I think that she would have chose to. I think she would have. She would have chose to die for the cure.
I think she was somewhat. I think as you're getting closer and closer to the hospital, there's some dialogue kind of along that. Like I think she makes a line. I think she says a line to Joel something, but like let's finish this.
Yeah.
Like
I think it implies.
I think she kind of knew that like something like that there was a chance that like she wouldn't survive.
Yeah. Like so. He's driving away. She wakes up in the back of the truck with him, and she asks, like, "Oh, what happened? Where are we?" And he basically says, just flat out lies to her and says, "Yeah, it turns out there's a bunch more like you that are immune, and it doesn't help at all. So yeah, sorry."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, and like the very last scene of the game is Ellie asking him, because I think she
doesn't quite believe him.
doesn't quite believe him,
Yeah.
and so she asks him again, like, "What you told me, was that all true?" And he says, "Yes." He's sticking to his guns. He
He
says,
said,
"Yes."
"I swear."
Yeah, I swear.
Or
yeah.
she asked, "Do you swear that what you told me?"
Swear
is
on
true?"
your daughter. Is that what he said? Or she
no,
said?
No, she didn't
I think
say
she
that.
says like, "Swear to me that everything you told me about the Fireflies is true."
Oh,
And
yeah.
he says,
And
"I
he says
promise."
yes. And then
And she
she's
says,
like,
"Okay,
okay.
then."
And then the game ends.
Yeah.
I think that's the perfect ending. I think
it's a good
Yeah,
ending.
I think so
Like,
too.
I think that's a perfect cut and dry single one shot ending. I think. And
So you're so
I can
You're
tell what you're trying to
you're
do
such
here.
a hater. You're such
no,
a
no,
hater.
no.
Will
I'm
is
just
saying he
saying.
does not want there to be a sequel to this game, even though they made
There is
one.
one.
And then
all I'm saying
just played through
so all I'm saying is that I think the game it stands perfectly by itself.
I
That's
think
all
you
I'm
can say
saying.
that about a
And
lot
I
of
think
things. Like,
hey, I'm going there. I'm saying that a sequel can be justified, but it's going to have to be justified in itself. So I feel like there's some movies where a sequel is very much needed. Like if you look at the Lord of the Rings,
Like
obviously,
Shrek and
if they
Shrek
didn't
2.
make
If they didn't Shrek the
if
Third.
they didn't make a sequel to Lord of the Rings, everybody would be freaking out because it's a trilogy. It's a
I think okay, all right. Well, we just fundamentally.
I mean,
disagree.
I can't really say anything about it because I'm currently playing through the second game. Will and Landon have both beat the second game, so you guys actually know and have your opinions about it.
yes.
I'll say so far, and I won't spoil anything. So far, it's making sense to me why
Yeah.
there's a second game.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great game. The first one,
Yeah.
it was really good.
And I will say I think Joel makes the selfish decision,
hmm
and probably I would say I think it is somewhat of a gray decision. It's not like completely cut and dry, but I think it would probably be leaning towards the more morally wrong decision.
Well, if you think of like any other type of either like superhero or world-saving type of story, this comes up a lot where it's like it's either
Sacrifice one life for
right.
many.
It's either me or the whole world. Like I'll use Infinity War for example. Vision is, and I'm assuming everybody out there has seen Infinity War, so I'm not gonna say spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Vision is he has one of the Infinity Stones in his head, and they're trying to destroy it. So Vision's like, just kill me basically, and just end it. And everyone's like, no, we can't. We don't trade lives.
We don't trade lives.
And so they choose that.
yeah.
And oh, go ahead.
But I would say like I don't know if I was in Joel's shoes if I would have made any other the different decision. I think I could very easily just
And
made
that's
this.
the question
think
I
of it,
wanted
think
to
of it coming from
ask.
a father to a daughter. Like, I mean, I don't have a daughter, probably never will, but like,
Oh, man.
but I can't imagine making that decision of, yep, goodbye, daughter.
Yeah.
You know, like,
That's not a decision that I don't think.
well, no father should have to
No.
make that decision.
No.
And
and I think it makes the game better that he makes the.
I think so too, because
makes
I
them
think
more-
it goes against the norm of what you would expect.
Well,
to
it was
happen.
very human. It was like
Yeah.
it was a decision that was like it seemed impulsive. It seemed like it made sense to Joel at the time, and it was for humanity's sake. It was the wrong decision, but for Joel and for Ellie's sake, it was the right decision because it kept her alive, and it kept that relationship alive between Joel and Ellie.
And
I
the
do
story
think
is
that-
very much an intimate story between a father and a daughter figure.
and a surrogate daughter. Yeah.
Getting emotional thinking
Yeah,
about it.
it's a great. Even it like I'll say this, even if you're not a gamer or whatever, want to play a video game, I would say it's worth just like looking up a YouTube video on the gameplay and just experiencing it that
Or
way
just
because
play it on an easy difficulty.
because it is
That's what I was going to say.
because
Lower
it
the
is
difficulty.
it is a great story.
Yeah, lower the difficulty, and if you can stomach violence, because the game is very.
It is
violent.
violent. Yeah, it's rated M for a reason.
If you can stomach violence, definitely play the game because I think it's pretty. It's just such a great game and a great story, and it makes you like. It's one of the most emotional games I've ever played. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, and it's also worth noting that HBO is adapting the game into a TV show.
Jim
Yeah,
Carrey
play
is
the game.
going to play
Joel.
Ellie.
And it's also worth. I think Neil Druckmann, the writer, is going to write.
They already made a Last of Us movie though. It's called Logan.
That movie is really good.
I want Ben Schwartz to play Ellie.
Ben Schwartz.
What? He's John Ralphio on Parks
No,
and
no.
Rec.
What in the world? Where did that come from?
I don't know. I shared my ideal cast, and I think they could actually probably get most of those actors to do it.
Who did you pick?
I had 3 choices for Joel. My top 3 choices for Joel would be either Joel Kinnaman from he was in Suicide Squad, and then
Altered Carbon and
Altered
stuff like
Carbon, The Killing. My second choice would be
RoboCop.
yeah, RoboCop. My second choice would probably be I can never pronounce his name. The guy that plays Jaime Lannister.
Jamie
from
Lannister from Game of Thrones. He, I think, would actually be my favorite.
I think he would
Is
actually.
that Schmorgan Heckengard, Dave?
What?
Never mind.
The more
Morgan Heckengard.
the more I've seen pictures of especially later season Jaime Lannister with the more beard and everything, he probably would be the best choice. Just I think he's a little older than Joel Kinnaman too. And then my third choice would be Guy Pearce, but I don't know. That's just another
I think
one.
Guy Pearce would be a good villain. You
I
know,
think
he reprises his role as the Mandarin from
They should
Marvel's
write
Iron Man.
I am the
I
Mandarin.
think Guy Pearce should either be Tommy or David. And I think if you play the
No.
game, you know.
He'd be good as David.
I think he'd be good as David.
my
but
choice
he also,
for-
I think he'd be
yeah.
good as Tommy as well.
I only could think of one actress for Ellie, and that's what's her Caitlin Dever.
I have no idea who that is.
I've only seen one movie with her. She was in the movie Booksmart that came out the other year. It's a comedy. It's like
Coming of age comedy.
yeah, probably the most comparable would be Super Bad, but
Okay.
chicks I don't know. She's been in some other TV shows and stuff. She has the look of Ellie and probably is still young enough to play her.
You're right. Yeah.
I want Tommy to be played by Ben Foster. And I don't know if that would work, but I just want to see Ben Foster in more stuff. So
Well, go watch X-Men 3.
no.
Oh
No,
no!
please no.
Is he's Angel in that, right?
He's Angel. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
And I think Guy Pearce could be a good David, but I kind of want to see Hugh Dancy play David.
Hugh
I don't know
Dancy.
who
I,
that
thought-
is either.
I just like
Who's
Hugh
that?
Dancy because
Yeah.
Who's that?
He plays
he's Will
Will
in
Graham
Hannibal.
off Hannibal,
Oh, I don't.
and I could see him. I mean, he gets a little creepy in Hannibal. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I think he could be a really creepy David.
Too bad
I
I,
think
don't have Amazon
I think
Prime.
it's.
Dude, it's on Netflix now. It's
Yeah,
on
you're
Netflix.
lucky because it's on Netflix now, Will.
Was like, I don't know how to open Netflix. I think it's a little on the nose because of Logan, but I think Hugh Jackman would be really good in the role.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could be good, but I think he's a little too high profile almost.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they need, though.
I'd almost rather have it be lower profile people.
What about Keanu Reeves?
No, please no.
Kiana could be Tommy. Kiana could be Tommy.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe Keanu could be Ellie, like long hair,
Yeah.
pasty
Wake
white
up, Joel.
skin.
We got a city to burn.
Oh man,
Oh goodness.
Wow.
Dave, when are you gonna buy the second game?
So Dave
Second
refuses to start the second part, even though it's perfect timing.
No, what do you mean refuses? The game just came out. It's like
part? Yeah, buy it.
there isn't
now.
You said I don't want to spend $60 on a video.
Well, that's
game.
true. I don't like buying new games unless it's
I
something
don't
that I
like
was,
buying new games.
See,
unless
Dave-
it's something I'm expressly excited for. and
You're
using.
not. You're
And
not.
you're not?
excited?
Michael
I mean-
is playing through it right now, and me and Landon have both beat it.
Landon and I.
We want to. Landon and I have both beat it. We want to eventually talk about it in the podcast. We're going to have to wait for you to finish the game before we talk about it, because
You know, there
that's
was
the
a
game-
number of podcasts where I wasn't on because we couldn't figure it out technically. Like you could just go back to, back when we did the restart. Just don't have me on the podcast. I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
I'm sure
you
there's
don't want me
enough
on the
listeners.
podcast.
I'm sure there's
No,
enough
I-
listeners that don't want David on the show. So I mean,
So let me get. Oh God. Excuse me. So let me get this straight. You don't have to be on the podcast next week because
Wait,
I
what?
will beat the game by next week.
yeah,
wait, what? No,
That's what I'm hearing.
I would
You just
be
said
on the
that.
Dave's
show.
like, I'll buy
Okay.
it. I'll buy it.
Whoa,
Please no.
Dave, I
I
honestly
own
though,
stock in this company.
I want to hear your opinion on the game. I want to hear both you and Michael's opinion on the game, or Michael and you. I don't know how the correct way to say it is, Michael, but I want to hear your opinion on the game because I think it's a very
Thought-provoking game.
I think it's thought provoking.
You're talking about
emotional.
part two. Yeah.
Thought provoking, emotional, and debatable. I think that last one is really the most true. And I think anybody who sares that it's a masterpiece and is raw and
The game is objectively
good, I
good.
think that's what irritates me. I like, me and Landon have talked about the game for
Probably combined 4 hours.
4 or 5 hours. Yeah.
Jeez.
So, and I think it'd be great for you because Dave, you kind of you're kind of on a same level of all the rest of us with how
Like
you
the
think.
That's the third game.
The rest of
the rest of us. The rest of us. Well, my point is that you think
Did you play
about
Bill
things.
in that one?
No,
Yeah,
you
he
played the infected in
You're
that
trying
one.
to track down all the magazines that were stolen over time.
You're just
Get your
a
collection back.
You're just a clicker that dies like 5 minutes into the game, and then the game's over.
Oh no.
Well, yeah, I'll have it beat by next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dave will not even have the game purchased by.
I'll tell you
Like a
what,
month.
okay? You know what I'll admit to? I added it to my cart in PS on the PlayStation Store. But I didn't
Dang.
buy it. But I added it to
That
my
makes
cart.
it even worse. You went.
Why?
Why didn't you
No,
just buy it?
that's not worse. It means that I put forth an effort and I'm considering it, okay?
Please.
Because
Dave,
I'm
Dave,
getting closer
Dave,
to getting into peer
Dave,
pressure here and spending
I
$60
know-
on this game.
I know that money is not tight for you. I know that. Just
Well,
buy
I
the
know,
damn game.
and the reason money is not tight for me is because I am smart with my purchasing decisions, and I am a frugal person.
And
I
you
will-
also have
and
a
part of that
really,
is not
really great
purchasing-
job, and
part of that is not
you have
purchasing
money coming in through other
games
means.
at $60.
That also, contributes to it too.
I would say that I agree with you with buying, like not buying a ton of $60 games, but I feel like this
think
one is
if
worth.
Michael was a
I'm not
rich
telling you to
person,
buy like 40,
he would just
40
like,
new games.
he
I'm
would
telling
make
you,
it rain.
we're just telling you to buy this one game that we're all playing through or have played through that's very relevant right now.
And I
You
said
just
I
played
would
the first one.
consider it.
Why?
Dave,
why
Dave,
would
Dave,
you
Dave, Dave.
buy it?
Dave, this is one game you don't want to get spoiled on. This is one game you don't want to get spoiled on.
If you don't
Are
have
there
it purchased by
things to get
next week,
spoiled
I'm going
on?
to spoil
no.
everything.
And the odds of things getting the game spoiled is not good for this game. Like a lot of games, it's okay to be spoiled.
Can I
for
admit to something?
certain things. What?
Dave knows everything.
I knew the end of the first Last of Us game without playing it. Before I played it.
When
And it
did you
didn't take away
figure
from-
that out?
Oh, like years ago because they talked about it on the Rooster Teeth podcast.
Oh, that's different. Like they're completely different games. You can't just
See,
say,
Will looked up all the spoilers as soon as they leaked.
No, I got one thing spoiled for me. Because somebody put it in the comment section of a completely unrelated Twitter thread.
See, but you were on Twitter. Like as soon as the leaks happened, I unfollowed all my social media pages that had anything video game related. I didn't go to any comment sections on anything. I was like, nah. I'm like,
I think I was safe on a Nintendo page.
no, because
No,
Nintendo.
they're
fans are
related because
garbage.
it's video games. Like it's topical, and the
All I'm
Nintendo
saying is it wasn't
subreddit
my
has
fault.
like
It wasn't my
millions
fault.
of people that follow that.
It wasn't
so there's a
Nintendo's
lot of
subreddit.
traffic.
Yeah, I
a
know.
lot of
Some
people
Nintendo
that-
fan was sad because he knew the Switch couldn't run The Last of Us Part 2. Even
Oh
if
my
they,
God.
He tried. He tried to shove the disc in. Oh,
I'm done.
wait.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm out.
Anyway.
Hey, you know
so-
what? If the Switch could run The Witcher 3, then I'm sure it can run Last of Us 2. Lana's just trying to incite, anger in Will, and it's working because Will just took his headphones off and he's on his phone now. So
You can't hear a
I'm not
dang
listening to you,
thing.
Dave. I can't hear you because my headphones are off.
Anyway.
I'm here defending Will.
Anyway, Dave.
I will consider it.
game.
I
Buy
will
the
consider.
freaking
I will probably buy it and start.
No,
playing it.
you've already considered it. Now you just need to buy it.
turn your PS1 right now and buy it. Start the download while we're recording.
I mean, it's 80 gigs. You gotta have to download it for a while.
I got quick internet. I buy the expensive
Yeah,
package
because
for internet.
because
because
money's not tight.
I like to throw my money
Money's
around.
not tight. Okay. Well, anyway, let's be done with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last of Us, great game. Last of Us 2 so far is good.
Wait, but so like at the end of the game, do you guys think you would have made the same decision that Joel made? Like
think
what
so.
do you
Yes,
think?
I probably
absolutely.
would've.
110%.
I'm weak.
I don't think it's a weak decision. I think
I think it is. I think
Absolutely not.
it's weak.
It's not for the greater good. I
Yeah.
mean, I would say that.
I don't think that
One
just
life
because it's not-
versus the whole world.
I guess maybe it's kind of weak.
Yeah.
Especially because like Marlene was willing.
Exactly.
Like Marlene definitely has a closer.
It was a selfish decision that was made.
I don't think so.
It was.
Nope,
You're
absolutely
wrong.
not.
Okay, so
Objectively, it was.
No.
So Will,
I think
so I want to hear from Will then. So
No.
what's-
Okay,
what do you
so
think?
I actually can't say a ton.
What? Okay.
Okay.
You can't phrase something like that. Like just going
use
off
it in the
first-
context of
Yeah.
the first game. So
Okay, the context.
You've
of
never
the
played the
first,
second game.
the
You've only played
context of the
game.
first game, I would agree with you. The context of the second game, I don't agree with you.
Well, you can't say that.
You can't say that.
Why not?
It's kind of like I don't know. Like we're talking about the first game. Like,
yeah, we're
I
talking about just the first
I
game.
don't feel like the
So-
second.
The first game's interpretation is completely changed by.
Well, you can't say
that.
that's
Like
getting
spoilers.
getting
That's like
spoilers.
super spoiler.
That's getting spoilery.
No, it's not.
That yeah, it
yeah,
is.
that's like
I think
you
it's
can-
subjective on if you interpret
No,
things
okay,
differently by the
Will,
stuff
but
in
like
the
if you're
second
putting
game.
yourself in Joel's shoes at that moment in time when he saves her, like was that?
I don't think it's a weak decision. I still
Okay.
hold
How
on
come?
to that because I think it has to do more with
Because
if
in
you're-
the second game,
I think it has to do more if you're thinking about it's a selfish decision. It's partly a selfish decision, but I think it's also Joel had Ellie in mind when he.
That's what makes it selfish, though.
right. Yeah, I think like
so like
It is.
is one life more important than hundreds? Well,
Not even like possibly millions.
but then I don't know if there's millions of people left.
I don't. I just
well, millions compared to
the way
7 billion.
the way I
you know.
interpret the first game's cure is I don't think it would have helped the world much. I
but
think
Joel
the
Joel doesn't
Fireflies-
know that. You're I think you're trying to
If
you're
you've
thinking of it
seen
too in a meta like a meta.
some of the recordings that Joel comes across, I think, are telling to the Fireflies'. Then again, I think you can argue that he made the decision before he came across those recordings that you can find. But I think if I were in Joel's shoes, I would save Ellie because I think
Because
Ellie,
you are Joel.
I think Ellie deserves to live.
Well, yeah, and none of us are. I think we all said that we would probably decide the same thing Joel would.
Yeah,
But it is the quote unquote weaker, more selfish choice.
I think it's a selfish. I think it's a selfish choice. I don't think it's a weak choice.
It's a weak choice
I think you
because
have to
Joel
define
didn't.
what weak means in that.
Well,
situation.
because Joel didn't.
Is like was it
wasn't
a
able to let
decision?
go and to see that this could save all of humanity.
Was it a decision that
think
was
that's
guided by
weak.
impulse and emotion versus a decision
Versus logic
based
and
off of
yeah.
logic and like weighing the numbers?
I think I don't know. Listen, if I was in Joel's shoes, I probably would have weighed. I would have weighed the morality of the situation and that they're going to do surgery on a girl that isn't even awake yet. Now, if Ellie woke up and decided, then there's not much I can do about it. But if they were going through with the
So
operation,
should Joel have waited
without
for her to
Ellie's-
wake up? Should he have woken her up and then asked?
That choice was taken away from him because they were already going to operate on her without her consent, without her official consent. Therefore, I'm going to save Ellie.
do you think there's somewhat of a moral quandary with so they didn't let her wake up? I mean, like, is that more of like? I mean,
I
feel
think
like
the
that's saving-
Fireflies were selfish. I think they're just like, okay, we have our opportunity now, we're taking it.
I don't know if it's. I can understand. Like,
But from their point of view, it's been 20 years of hell on Earth, and now they have the chance to reverse that. They're gonna dive head into that.
and you got
know?
to think that like it probably took a few years before I mean, like things fell apart pretty quickly. But like, I mean, they had to have the government had been trying to find a cure from the very start. All of a sudden, they you know what I mean, it was still some kind of communication in place, and they couldn't find anybody immune to it. They couldn't find anything. It's
Right.
like.
They're gonna do everything in
They,
their power.
they tried
to make-
hydrochloroquine, they tried Lysol, they
To make-
tried social distancing, and it
They
just
tried
none of it
Trump
worked.
came out and said that the certain drug was beneficial, and it was just
They
really.
tried- They were gonna do
Inhale these
everything.
spores.
They were gonna do everything that they could to make that cure possible and happen.
And I would think probably some of the Fireflies are remnants of probably government factions or like
Probably, yeah.
like people that were trying to find a cure. There's probably people that have been trying to find a cure since the beginning.
Mhm.
Like even if from what the game director had said and like stuff that like it was probably a slam dunk. It's probably implied that it had been something they'd been looking for. Like whatever they like, because
Right.
like it shows like CAT scans. I think of her like her brain and stuff. It's like
Mhm.
they're probably like this is it. And even if it's not a slam dunk, I think like for the greater good kind of thing, you like. I mean, taking that shot, and I think like they could have woken Ellie up, and I think if Ellie had the choice, she would have
Would have
said
consented.
yeah. But I don't think that would have changed Joel's mind though.
Right. I think
if she consented to it, I think he would have still done exactly what he did.
I think what's powerful is Joel knew that she would have said yes. I think that's what makes.
Yeah.
That's what makes.
That seems like a weak decision then, right? Wouldn't
Yeah.
you say possibly?
No, I don't. I just hate. I hate. I think weak.
It's
I don't-
okay for-
I don't like the words weak. I
Okay,
like, I
what if we
think
call it
I agree,
impulsive and
selfish.
emotional then, and
Im-
selfish?
I like impulsive, emotional, selfish. I don't think weak because I think.
But I think
it
weak
takes a
is
different kind of
interchangeable.
strength. I think it takes a different kind of strength to make that decision.
A weaker strength.
I don't know. I think it makes Joel. I think it makes Joel's character more complex if it's somewhat of a weak.
Well, and I think it's
Yeah.
like it's. I don't dislike that he made that decision or that he
No.
he was I guess in my opinion now, was weak. I think that made me like Joel's character even more. Like I think that was it makes him more relatable because, like we've said, we all would have made that decision.
Yeah, the game would have been way more of a cliche video gamey game if he like all made the heroic sacrifice.
It would have seemed like more
I
of
100% agree. Yeah.
It would have still been a sad ending, but it would have been like a happy ending and kind of a bookend to that thing. With this now, it's like
and
holy
all
crap,
the
this is
zombies
like
were turned back to humans.
infected, not zombies. It's like they're like
Zombies.
now the end of the game is holy crap, this is crazy. Like how is this going to play out later? Type of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll make a second game.
Yeah.
Maybe Dave will buy it.
Yeah, maybe
probably not, but hopefully.
I guarantee you that if Dave buys it now and then just gets into a different video game, I'm going to be so mad.
I think if Dave
I'm
bought
playing
it, he
through
would play
Bioshock
it.
right now.
Great game.
Oh,
It's a
Landon's
great
wearing
game,
the Bioshock shirt right now. I see his
Bioshock
shirt.
Infinite.
Man,
that's like his only shirt.
Anyway,
what would you guys?
Surprised he's wearing a shirt actually,
I wasn't when Mick showed up, but
or pants,
or underwear. But I was wearing.
But he was wearing socks.
Glasses?
Puma socks.
Glasses
Really
and
nice
socks.
Really
and
nice
then,
Puma socks.
And then I put the pants on and took the socks off. So, what would you guys score the game? Like now that we've kind of discussed it, like what would you guys score the game out of 10?
9 out of 10.
I'd say it's like an 8.5 or 9. It was really good.
I'd probably give it a 10.
Yeah.
I would probably give it a 10 if some of the controls didn't feel
That's fair.
a little clunky.
I think like my only critique, and I don't say like by saying it's a 10, I'm not saying it's a perfect game. I just like when I give a 10 to a game, it's like it's.
You're
a game
giving it
that's
an IGN 10, not
Yeah,
a real 10.
like more like it's a game that like has really stuck with me and had like kind of a
And
somewhat
affected you.
yeah, but
and
had
stuff
an
like that.
effect on me in a in a meaningful way.
Like a Red Dead 10.
Yep, yeah, like Red Dead's like I guess if I were to say like the games that I would give a 10 are like Last of Us, Bioshock Infinite, Red Dead 2, Last of Us Part 2. Yeah, Bug Snacks. Well, I'm gonna pre-score that before I even play and give it a 10.
Yeah, the pre-score 10.
Yeah.
just based off that theme song.
Yeah, and the haunting,
Kinda
the
bugs
chilling,
and
and the
kinda
chilling
snacks.
ending to that trailer. So,
Oh my goodness gracious.
Will, what would you give the first game?
First game, probably I'd say a 9.5 or a 10.
Okay.
One of those two. I had a flip flop between back and forth.
Yeah.
Great game. However you can consume it, do it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. I was playing a little game with my little brother
Heck
a
yeah.
couple days ago. It just so the game is like it's like this WW SmackDown wrestling game.
Like actually branded WW.
Yeah,
or
like
something?
one of the you have two action figures. You have this
Gosh.
plastic like wrestling ring
That
with
sounds
like
amazing.
with like elastic cords around it. One of your characters is John Cena.
Oh, dude. Oh man, your time is up. My time is now.
So I of course chose John Cena.
Of course.
And the goal of the game is you stand on opposite ends of the ring and you pull back the character on the like basically a slingshot and you just fling it at the other person's action figure.
Yes.
And the action figures one of them, I don't know who the other guy was, but he had like these two like big metal claws that attached to his arms, and then John Cena had a shield and a battle axe. And the goal of the game is to just fling these characters at each other, and whoever loses their weapons
What
first.
is the name of this?
I don't know.
It sounds really fun.
But also, and I don't know if this was actually designed, but the fact that you're just launching these action figures at each other, sometimes they like lose their arm, or like I launched John Cena at this other guy and I just split him in two, like his torso came off, and this game is like so violent for like a little kid, but it was hilarious.
Can you get like different characters and stuff too? Can you like buy like additional fighters?
I mean, I'm sure. I think it's an older game.
Oh dang! I want to next time I come over. I want to play.
It was actually. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like you're like you first start up playing because like Carter's probably like, oh, can we play? And you're like, oh, sure. And then like,
okay.
but like round 3, you're like, I'm gonna kill.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna cut you in two. Anyway,
Oh, that's hilarious.
it was. Do you guys have any like old games like that you played when you were a kid that were just like a little too violent and you just didn't like really notice?
No.
I would say actually no. The closest thing came to a GoldenEye game that you can blow, like it's like remote detonated explosives, but there was no blood or gore or
Right,
anything. And as a kid, my parents really kept on lock violence because
Yeah.
my mom hated violence. and my dad doesn't.
But my
like
dad loved it.
my dad can stomach violence more than my mom, but they still both strongly dislike any kind of violent media. So they kind of keep on lock. They kept me on lock for what games I play. I didn't play an M-rated game until I was 12 or 13.
Dude, I was like 16, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I was 16. I was 15 or 16. I mean, I played it. I occasionally played it at a friend's house, but I didn't own one until I was 16. I think the first M-rated game I owned was Assassin's Creed 3. That's some masterpiece.
That
Oh my goodness.
It's some
makes a lot of
masterpiece.
sense.
That's another 10 out of 10.
Oh gosh. Well, now Dave's not going to play Last of Us 2.
No, please no.
Anyway, I just thought that was a funny game. It was such a basic concept. I mean, it's
Is
basically
it called Smash Brawler?
maybe. I don't know.
I think I found it online.
It's like this giant plastic wrestling ring with elastic cords. You're basically just two friends having slingshots and just shooting action figures at
WWE
each
Masters
other.
of the WWE Universe Grayskull Mania bundle with Terror Claws. Yeah, I found it.
That sounds like
How much is
What
it? How much
the
is it?
heck? It's $60 at Walmart.
Just either that or The Last of Us
Rip
Part 2.
off.
Where
What are
did
you gonna buy?
So
What are you gonna
where
buy?
Yeah,
did
Dave
he
shows
where
up
did he
with
get
this
this
game next
thing?
week.
Where did he get this thing?
I don't know.
I feel like it's a yard sale pickup.
It looked used.
Yeah, it's
I'll
a
say
yard
that.
sale. Yard sales are fun. Like going to other yard
Yeah.
sales.
Doing your own.
No, not
It's
doing your no,
horrible.
doing your own. It's terrible. It's horrific.
Every time I've done a garage sale, a yard sale, we sell like one thing. We do all this work to put all this crap out that probably should just be thrown away, and we get like, oh, here's 63 cents
Yeah, I feel like you
for
got
a shower curtain.
You got to price everything really low.
Yeah, pretty much.
But going to other ones and trying to find like hidden gems and the like garbage that like because like I feel like 85% of everything at a yard sale is just trash. Like
Pretty much, yeah.
but every once in a while you can find something cool.
I love yard sales though. I love garage sales. Going to them and just looking at other people's junk is just like fun. I mean,
You should start going to some yard sales in Michigan right now and be like, hey, anybody got the Last of Us 2 here in this yard sale?
Have you
trying to get a
I
cheap
only want the
deal.
digital version.
Be like, yeah, it's on sale for $30. Dave's like, that's pretty steep.
It's a little pricey.
I don't know.
I really only go $10. That's the max.
Yeah.
Will,
Like,
how much
it
would
waits
you
5 years.
spend on the game?
How much would I? I'd say 60.
Well, he bought the game.
How much
Well, I'm
would
saying
I
after
like?
now that he bet
After
that
now that I've
he beat it
beaten
and
it, I
hated
would
the
say
game.
60.
you know.
60.
It's a $60 game.
Yeah.
60.
I got that sick steel.
When should the price go down?
Year and a half.
It should be free.
Gosh dang it, Landon.
All
I
PS4 exclusives should be free.
Oh my
when
gosh.
it comes out.
Oh my gosh. You're bringing up a brain aneurysm that like when we were recording that one episode. Oh gosh. I was man.
I do like Sony games though that like, you know, if you really like if you are strapped for cash, like a game can come out and, you know, probably within a year and a half you could probably get it on sale for $25 to $20. I kind of like that they do good sales on their games.
I think that's with every single game company except Nintendo. Nintendo's the only one that keeps their games at a high price because they don't have to lower the sale for it. They don't have to put it on sale for it to sell.
Because there's only like 10 games out there for Nintendo.
Which is just
What?
I'm not trying to like get a rise out of you or anything. I just,
Oh, there's more than 10 games.
I mean,
there's
but
12.
like, okay. Let's not go into that.
No, Michael. So finish what you started.
So I-
finish what you started.
So
Michael.
I-
No.
So I came home. I came
Oh,
home
okay,
the other
all right.
day, and I come home, and my mom is outside in her car, and
Oh no.
all the doors are open, the mats are taken out. I pull up, and I'm like, she's wearing a mask. I was like, oh, what's going on? And she just comes up to me. She's like, today has been the worst day ever.
I think I know what story you're going into, but I don't know what actually happened.
Apparently, okay, so my mom took the dog, Copper, to the grooming place to get haircut, cleaned, all that stuff. That worked out fine. He got completely clean. Nice, shiny new dog. Apparently, he was just in the car too long that he just, like, explosive massacre, like, all in the backseat of the car.
Oh no.
And my younger brother and sister were in the back.
Oh
God, no.
Were in the back as well. So they had to sit in the car with just poop for for quite a while, and
drove home,
the
like,
drive home.
Was it like constant, or was it just real quick? Just like
It was like, yeah, you know.
Dude, I'm gonna throw up.
And,
Like, please keep it. Like,
yeah, and it got like all over Copper. You know,
Oh,
he was just like
dirty dog again.
a dirty dog. Like he was nice and shiny and smelling nice, and now he's just covered in his own filth. And yeah, it just
I can just imagine being your brother and sister in the back seat, just screaming. I would be screaming if I were them. I'd be like, oh my gosh,
it's like rising sea levels. You're like, oh, you're like trying to climb up.
Yeah.
And
let me in the front. Let me in the front.
I would just ask to be put in the trunk at that point.
Yeah.
Like, just get me
Now,
out of this cab.
what's the solution? Do you just burn the car after that and buy a new one?
I think so.
I
Yeah.
would.
There's no saving that car.
I think they're still keeping the windows open during the night to try to air it out, but it's
I don't know if you can. Can you air it
it's
out?
like imprinted in there.
Is it? It's probably stained in those. Is
It's
it? What,
soaked
I
through.
think
It had to
I
soak
think most
through.
of it was on the removable things, but it's still
Ugh.
dog poo in a car that was in there for like a long time.
Yeah.
How long do you think it was in there for? Like estimate.
I don't know, 2 hours,
Oh my
3 hours,
gosh. Why?
because they had
They
had to
were
do-
out.
Yeah,
doing
they
some
were
other
out
things
like
that were
downtown,
important.
and they had to stop certain places. And it was
I feel
just
like you
just go straight
abandoned- I
home.
feel like you
at that point,
abandoned-
yes,
eject,
I
go
would have
straight
gone
home.
straight home. But there were other factors into why
Oh.
that didn't happen. But anyway, so
How
I'm just glad I wasn't there.
How like did they yell at the dog? I feel like I would have just lost all control.
I mean,
It's not really his fault.
it's not his fault. You know, he was traumatized by having everything shaved, gone through this huge bathing thing, and then stuck in a car for like way too long for a dog.
I don't know
Yeah.
though. If Landon diarrheaed in the back of my car, I think I would get mad at him, even if I had just cleaned him and shaved him. Like, I may hit him once or twice.
I think it's punishment enough though to be covered in your own crap.
He doesn't really understand that.
I'm talking about you.
Oh, like, the dog probably
Landon
had
would
no problem.
probably
No,
understand. I think.
Yeah.
I think though, to be fair to be fair to Copper, I think if you're going to go on a multi-hour trip with the dog without any restroom breaks, that is a failure in planning. I think.
Well, I mean, there's
I
there's other
know-
stuff that when I do it, so I don't really want to go into that. But
Yeah, for sure.
there was a reason why that happened.
But-
It really wasn't anyone's fault.
Right, but I'm saying you keep them separate trips is what I'm saying.
I guess so, but again, that plays into it had to be done this way.
Had to be.
Had to be.
Okay.
No
I
choice.
guess I don't understand, but I
Yeah.
think it's just
Yeah, I can tell. I can
guess
tell you
terrible
off the air.
timing or something.
Or
like-
if you $5 tier on our Patreon, you can hear the full story.
this next section will be beeped for those non-listeners. So
we
make
need
sure to
we,
hit that
we need
subscribe
you
button.
we need you guys to be on our Patreon so Dave can afford
Last of Us Part
because
2.
he's like living on scraps here.
Yeah.
Like
If we can get 6 people at the $10 tier. Yeah,
like
just
right
for
now,
1 month,
Dave,
just for 1
Dave
month.
is in a Best Buy using their mic and computer because he can't
No,
afford
no,
it.
He's going
I'm almost
undercover
done. I'm
stuff.
almost no. Please don't take me. No.
Anyway, don't you all want a dog?
No, I
No, absolutely
My-
not. This
my
is why
fam-
cats are better. I will
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, you can't say that because cats pee everywhere,
Yeah, but
and it comes down to the specific animal.
yeah.
You know,
here's the thing though. With a cat, isn't there like
Less
a little
volume.
cat
Less
like
volume.
less volume? They're smaller generally, except if you get a dumb dog, which I think are the little tiny small ones. I don't
Oh.
like those small dogs.
Rats.
rat
dogs.
Keepers.
But also, I think isn't it easier to put them in a
kennel.
in a kennel or a cage or something like that, and then they're kind of confined to that as they travel, and I don't think you have to take them out that much except for the vet. Like cat, you don't have to shave a cat. Like, that's the thing I'm gonna put forward.
You shouldn't
Don't-
shave a cat.
Exactly.
You're supposed to wax your cats.
It breaks my heart when I see it just a naked cat.
Except if
it
it's
looks
like
so
a-
miserable.
Oh, what's it? An Egyptian, whatever one? The one
Siamese?
No.
Oh.
I know what you're talking
Like,
about.
Yeah, the Egyptian cats.
The Egyptian cats that are hairless.
They're interesting looking animals.
Yeah, they are. They're kind of gross, but they've grown on me over time.
I
I used to think they were completely disgusting,
Anything
now
that
I'm
is
just like-
supposed to have fur on it, when it doesn't have fur, it's creepy.
but they're not supposed to.
Seems
Have
Like,
fur.
have you
hairless
seen?
bears.
But it's a cat. I mean, like,
Bears.
yeah, I
So
was
like,
gonna say.
so Mick,
Bears
so would
without
you-
fur, it's like the creepiest thing ever.
Yeah.
It's like a giant naked mole rat that could just eat you. How do you guys How do you guys tie your shoes?
Huh?
What's the process?
Okay, so I put one under the other and make the little like where I don't know. Okay, so you have your two strings and then you put one under the other and you tie it tight. That way there's it's like a bridge that's twisted.
Right.
And then
Twisted bridge.
you do the loop.
Rabbit goes through the hole,
One bunny ear.
eats
One
the
bunny
wolf.
ear, and then through I don't know, it's like through a different part of that bunny ear and then I tie it tight.
You do the double knot?
No, I don't do the double knot.
Most of my shoes,
double knots are for people who are too lazy to tie it twice.
most of my shoes, I
Shoes.
tie
What do you mean?
once. Most of my shoes I tie once, and then I just slip my shoes on and off.
That's
I
a
rarely,
child's move.
I rarely tie my shoes.
Wow, I don't know what to say to that, Dave. Like I think I just
Like,
lost
dude,
some
if
respect
that's how
for
you
you.
do it,
Well,
dude,
with
you
like
get Velcro, bro.
with the style of shoes I wear, like
Some
with most
Skechers,
type of
dude.
like
Like-
skate shoes, you don't need to tie them.
You imagine Dave as a professional skater?
No, I
No.
can't.
That'd be
I actually
so
can't.
awesome.
I can't actually fathom that. My brain, I don't have the creative like
I just can't.
imagination to
I
it.
can't-
Backwards hat and
I
him
can't-
being like, "Yo."
I can't visualize Dave moving fast on a skateboard
without falling.
or even on a skateboard.
Do you think he'd be like freaking out, like just the first time he tried it?
I think Dave would get angry.
Angry at what?
Yeah, probably. Just
I don't
angry
like
at the world.
I don't like skateboards.
Oh, I've never really ridden a skateboard, so I mean, I don't know how it works.
Maybe that's why I can't visualize it.
Yeah. See,
Um,
my best friend of 16 years, Oliver. He broke his leg while riding a skateboard. And then this is even more funny. So not only when he was a kid, he broke his leg because he tried to stop using his other leg.
I'm seeing a recurring problem.
Pattern here? Yeah, because he's the one that broke his ankle with Michael's one wheel.
No, he didn't break his
Break it.
ankle.
He
tore a
Okay,
ligament.
he
Tore a
tore a
ligament
ligament jumping
in his
off the
ankle.
one wheel.
He jumped off the one wheel
And
back onto the one wheel.
I mean, I don't know. In his defense, it was he was out of control. I'll just put it that way.
I mean, he was highly intoxicated
Can you
too.
describe more of what out of control means?
Well, okay, so when you ride any type of board, you have a natural foot that goes forward that rides in front of you. He, I think, rides
Either
regular
or
or
goofy.
goofy. I think he rides regular, so he would have his left foot forward. The thing with the one wheel is you can go both ways. So he started going regular, he stopped, and then the board rocked backwards, and then he was going goofy, which if you haven't ridden any type of board, it feels totally weird. It's like doing stuff with your left hand.
See,
Like
I
trying to sword
ride
fight with your left hand or
I would ride goofy. 'Cause
Dave
like
rides
scooters
goofy.
and snowboards. I'm goofy.
But
So
okay,
I
speaking of that,
my right
that's
foot
weird.
forward and I face to the
What's
left.
weird about that is I ride a scooter goofy.
Oh,
So that would
I
be-
tried riding it regular and it feels weird.
So scooter, like a razor scooter or anything, just any
A
kind
razor, electric scooter,
So
I
I would-
ride with my right foot forward.
Okay, I think that
And
would
that
be
feels
me
normal.
too,
And then
'cause
which foot do you
with
push
my
with?
left-
I push with my left
foot on a
Yeah.
scooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's goofy.
But it's
Okay.
weird because when I'm on a snowboard, I ride regular and you have to unbind one of your feet to push. I do that regular and that feels normal. There's no, I think if there was a handle on a snowboard, I would ride it goofy.
Weird.
I don't know. It's weird.
I've never snowboarded, but I think I would ride right foot forward. And
Really?
I
So
think
goofy.
I think so. Yeah, I think I would do it that way.
Interesting.
I'm trying to think.
I mean,
Maybe not, I don't know, I've never
generally,
done
it's
it.
like generally, if you are right-handed, you would have your left foot forward
Yeah.
because I think most of the power and the steering comes from your right leg
Oh, okay.
if you're riding that way.
I'd have to do it then and see.
Yeah.
I don't.
And it like me with scootering, it can flip for no apparent reason.
Yeah, it's a weird thing that we're like, kind of instantly what feels.
right. It's
Right.
it's like a feeling instantly.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was going back to tying shoes. I do the double bunny ears. Is that
I don't know what the like.
2 bunny ears?
And you just do one knot.
You do 1 knot.
Yeah, how
I
does
think-
that work? That seems weird.
I'm gonna go
I
grab
don't
a shoe.
like
I'm gonna
that.
grab
Go
a shoe.
yeah,
I'm gonna
go grab a shoe.
It's experiment. It's experiment
Well,
segment on the Hotkeys podcast.
I was just thinking about it, and it was like that was the. I think that's like more the juvenile way to tie a shoe, and I never. I mean, I learned how to
the
do
right
the
way to
one
do
bunny
it?
ear, but it just seemed way harder, and I don't know. I got
I don't know,
fat
tying shoes
fingers,
are
so
pretty
like trying to put
easy,
my
like-
finger like in the loop was like really
All right, I'm
confusing.
gonna display. You guys won't be able to see this. I can't describe with words how I do it.
But just tie it up here. You don't have to put it on your
No, I
foot.
have to.
Oh my gosh.
Now everybody watch and
Yeah.
watch Nick will see
Okay.
what I do.
This is going to be really interesting for
Okay,
everyone
Landon
listening.
is
as
tying-
Landon ties
pulling-
his shoe.
Okay, he did the first initial knot.
So the Twisted Bridge.
Twisted Bridge, one bunny ear.
Yep, that's what I do too.
Okay, I don't do that.
That's how you tie a shoe. He
That's-
just tied a shoe like a
the
normal person
objective
ties a
way-
shoe.
The objective way to tie a
no,
shoe.
no.
Give me
If I'm gonna
The objective way to tie a shoe.
if I'm gonna do more physical activity than just walking around, then I
Right, double knot.
Double knots are for suckers. I'm just gonna say it.
go. Nope.
It
If you tie your
locks
shoe
in
the right way, you shouldn't need a double knot, but a double
Okay,
knot is
there you
helpful.
go.
There you go.
Let me show you how I do it.
A double knot's helpful. It's the weak decision.
Okay. So
No, it locks it in place.
Would Joel have
I
tied
do-
a double knot,
okay.
or would he have tied it like a normal
Twisted Bridge.
person?
Twisted Bridge. One bunny ear, two bunny ear.
Oh my god. It's horrible.
No, yeah, you're wrong.
I don't actually.
Sorry,
I actually
kid.
don't think. I don't think I could do that.
It's the same. Basically, you're just doing
Okay.
that knot again,
I'm
but
one.
it turns out to be the same thing as doing this.
I think one of my famous
It's
views.
the same. It's the same knot. It's
One of my
just-
famous views is that subjectivity is,
I think it's
is really
done-
important.
it's
But this
done-
is just downright wrong.
It's done in an easier
This is
way.
downright wrong.
Like, is it, I think that's easier.
No,
I know.
it's
I
not.
feel like you're adding like an extra complicated part to it.
You're like loop through the hoop. It's
Is
like
that
no.
like that? Like I feel like my fingers are like being tied into. I'm like,
It's because you have no finesse.
Oh man.
That's
I mean, I
true.
think it's because I have sausage fingers, but like that's like,
Oh, I was joking. I didn't mean.
you know what? Screw you, Will.
Okay.
Do you guys want to do double bunny ears from now on, so I don't feel like a
I
little
think that Mick, as a 26-year-old man, I
Please
think you
don't
should.
say
I
my
think
age.
I think you should learn how to tie your shoes like a normal person, just so that you know it and that you can just have that knowledge. Then
Oh,
after
I know
you,
how to do it. Look, see, one bunny ear around, through.
Okay, all right. Well, this was a great talk.
It's faster for me to do two bunny ears and then tie it.
So are you a fan of the double knot though? Like if you're gonna do physical.
Oh yeah,
activity?
yeah. That's and you can still
now,
do that with
when
the
you
double.
guys wear a belt,
Look, double
do
bunny
you
ear,
thread it through the left, or
double
do you
bunny
thread
ear,
it to the
and then
right?
and then double knot.
You go.
See?
I guess it would be. I start left of the belly
Yep,
button.
I start left and then thread it through to the right and then tighten it when the little flappies on the right and the metal's
Like
on the
this.
left.
So like the belt buckle is on the left side.
Belt
Okay, now
buckle
when
on
you
the left,
guys
flappy
hold
on the
your
right.
when you guys fold your hands, do you have your left
I get
thumb
what you're
on
doing,
top,
Dave,
or
and
do you
it's
have your-
really it's
you have your-
stupid.
do you have
No
your
one
right
cares.
thumb on top?
No one cares.
left
left
on
on
top.
top. Left on top. Left on top.
Left on top.
Yeah, that's the right way.
Now when you cross your
arms,
legs,
no,
I think
Now
it
when
depends
you-
for- nope,
left
nope.
arm on top.
left arm.
I have my
yes.
right arm on top when I cross my arms.
Now when you
Right
pick
arm
your
free.
nose, do you use your right pinky or your left thumb?
Left middle finger.
Okay.
Anyway,
Landon's over there testing the digits.
that's how I tie
Yeah.
shoes.
You just hit Landon's phone on the ground with that shoe.
That's what I was aiming
You
for.
can't kill my phone.
Landon's phone is so old and it bothers me that he
Why
has
does it bother you?
because get a new phone.
Why?
It drains battery too fast. Like it's
In
just
his defense, though, my phone drains battery, and mine's an 8 plus.
yeah,
I
but
feel like as soon as the phone's a year old, like it just start like
Well, doesn't Apple like implement like
yeah. See, that's why an
battery
Android,
killing code
That's
when
why
the new phone
Androids.
gets released?
That's why Androids are so much better,
Let's not go
all
that far.
right.
right, Dave?
Yeah, I'm Android. I'm anti-Apple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
Well, that's all.
No one
That's
builds a
all,
phone
folks.
better than a 6-year-old kid in China. You know what I'm saying?
That's all the topics I had. Before we move on to our last segment, is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about?
I'm trying to think.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Dave, you good?
I'm good.
All right. Well, take it away, Dave.
All right. Are you guys ready for some
I'm ready.
trivia extraordinaire?
Incorrect answer.
Yeah.
Now I googled a trivia quiz just like Michael, and then I realized that it was a bad quiz, so I made my own.
Ah, yes. Thank you, David, for actually doing the good
You
thing.
see, you can't say that anymore though because you dropped the ball last week.
That's true.
So, shut up.
Yeah.
Okay. So this quiz is called Second is the Best. So what I have is I have
Named his
10
quiz.
questions here.
What a dumb name.
I have 10 questions here
Maybe you
that
should.
are
We should
all
maybe we should go with your backup quiz because second is the best.
no,
His
this is the
backup
second
quiz
one I
is
made.
third is the
So,
worst.
okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list something like biggest, greatest, longest, tallest, whatever. And then I will tell you what the number one thing is. if you guys are not able to say it. And then what I want, the actual question is, what is the second of these things?
Ooh, what
Wow.
a fun twist.
So I'm going to start easy. Most of these are kind of just related to geography in the world. I have a couple at the end that are a little bit different, but most of them are just kind of geography. So kind of get into a headspace of thinking about Earth and the world. So first one I have is state size. So I'm starting off easy. So do you guys know the biggest state, right? Pretty easy.
Texas,
Alaska,
California.
It's Alaska. So Alaska is the biggest.
No.
Now,
Wait,
what
really?
yeah.
is the
I thought it was
second?
California.
What? Alaska's like almost half the size of the U.S.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Alaska
had
is
no idea.
665,384 square miles.
See, I think
Now-
it's because all the Alaska pictures on maps are just so tiny and cramped in a corner because nobody could like.
And they also put it
Lives
like
there.
right below California.
Yeah. They're like, oh,
And it's not attached to anything.
Downscale.
So, Will, did you not know that Alaska was like huge? Really?
No, I didn't know.
What?
It's ginormous.
Okay, yeah,
Dang,
Alaska's
I wanna go
giant.
to
Okay,
Alaska
so
now.
Alaska is the biggest state. Now, what is the second biggest state by
I'm gonna go
size?
Texas then.
I'm gonna go with Texas.
I'll
Okay,
go with
you're right.
what I
It's
thought was the
Texas.
biggest.
Texas is second, 268,596 square miles. So
And
it
then
is.
third is
Texas is like
California?
half is less or is half the size of Alaska, less than half the size.
That's
That's how big
crazy.
Alaska is.
That's
Two
crazy.
Texases can fit into Alaska. Okay, next one. Now we're going to think more on a global scale here.
Yeah.
What's the biggest country? We know the biggest country, right?
Russia.
Russia.
Russia. Easy. What's the second biggest?
China.
Okay, we have a China.
Let me think for half a second.
It's either China or Canada, I think.
We have a Canada.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm
I think
probably
it's
gonna. I'm
Canada.
gonna probably go
I
Canada.
mean, I'll stick with China.
I'm gonna go Canada.
Okay, it is Canada. So Russia is 6,600,000 square miles. Canada is
Big.
3,900,000 square
How
Wow,
many?
it's all
How many
half.
Alaskas can fit in Russia?
Well, let me do the math here real quick. So yeah, Russia is very big. Canada is pretty large too. But after that, we have river length. Now we all know what's the longest river in the world.
It's the. God dang it.
Dude, I don't even know.
Let me. It's in Africa, right? It's the.
The Amazon.
The river Styx.
We all know that it's the River Nile is the longest river in the world, right?
Yeah,
That's what I
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
why
Okay.
we all said it.
Now, now what is the
Mississippi.
second longest river?
Amazon.
Mississippi? Because
And if you guys can only think of like one, then I can give you multiple choice, but only if
give
you're
us how much-
struggling.
Okay,
How
multiple
much do you
choice.
give us?
We're struggling.
multiple?
So we got
Okay, so
Amazon
we have the
Mississippi
Amazon River,
River.
the Mississippi River, the Yangtze, and the Yellow River.
Oh, it's the Yangtze. It's definitely
the
the Yangtze.
Yangtze.
It has to be.
Amazon.
It has to be the Yangtze.
Yangtze.
Michael's right. It's the Amazon River.
No!
The Nile is
I knew it.
4,130 miles long. The Amazon is 4,086. So Amazon is actually fairly close to the Nile in length.
Awesome.
You
I knew
guys
it.
are in denial of
God.
losing that.
No. I knew it. I said Amazon.
Okay, we're gonna stick,
No.
but you changed it to Yangtze. Okay, we're gonna stick with bodies of water. Now we all know the biggest lake in the world, right? We all know what the biggest lake is.
Great Lake.
It's the Caspian Sea, of course,
Yep.
which is classified as a lake, even though it's called a sea. Now, what is the second biggest
Let's
lake?
do the second. The
in the
Black
world.
Sea. The Black Sea. I'm gonna go with the Black Sea.
Dave, did you rehearse this?
Yeah, he did. I'm saying my
Today
answer's
we're
Black-
sticking with bodies of water. All right, here's the fifth question.
Black
Here's a
Sea.
teleprompter.
Okay, I'm going to tell you actually the Black Sea is a sea. It is not a lake.
Yeah.
So
What are you,
that's
stupid?
wrong. So now
Okay,
why don't you
we all
actually
knew
give me
that.
some lakes, Landon?
But you just said the Caspian.
the Great Lakes.
The Great Lake.
you guys need multiple choice? Are you struggling?
Yeah,
Yeah.
multiple.
Okay.
Give us multiple.
We have Lake Victoria,
Easy. Lake Victoria.
Lake Baikal, Lake Tanganyika, and then Lake
Yeah,
Superior.
Dave rehearsed this.
Does not matter.
What was the last one?
Lake Superior.
I like
Lake Superior.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
Lake
one.
Victoria. I
Lake
think
Superior.
Lake Victoria. I'm going with
Superior.
Lake Victoria.
Superior.
Victoria.
It's
Superior.
Lake Superior, which I actually used to live about half a mile from.
Cool.
It's weird.
Sorry.
So the
I am
Caspian Sea.
superior to you guys
The
with
Caspian
this
Sea
quiz.
is huge. It's 143,000 square miles. Lake Superior, the second biggest, is 31,700
Oh,
square
man.
miles.
That's big.
in
I'll put it
size.
in context. When I went and visited you in Michigan, I took a red eye flight. So I woke up when it was like just becoming daylight, and I looked out the window and I just saw ocean, and I was like, I got on the wrong flight. Where am I? I have no idea where I am right now, and I was like freaking out. But that's just because those lakes are so big that they look like ocean.
Yeah, they're huge. I mean,
Yeah.
it goes Superior, Victoria, Huron, and Michigan. So of the top
I'm
five,
going to Hawaii.
of the top 5 lakes in the or in the world, 3 of them are the Great Lakes. So they are very big bodies of water. Okay, next we're gonna go with
very big
mountain height. We all know the tallest mountain, right?
Kilimanjaro. Right?
Everest.
Fuji.
Mount Everest. Okay.
Wow.
Now, what is the second tallest mountain?
Kilimanjaro.
Fuji.
Mount
Fuji,
Spokane.
Fuji,
Kilimanjaro.
Fuji.
Kilimanjaro.
Fuji. Fuji.
Okay,
It's,
stop.
it's
stop.
not Fuji. Multiple choice.
Okay, the options are Aconcagua,
It's not even
Kilimanjaro, K2, and Denali.
Fuji.
K2.
Kilimanjaro.
It's K2.
Fuji.
K2.
Kilimanjaro.
Michael is right again. He's on a roll. It's K2. Now I want to tell you guys something. When I was doing the research for this, of the
Fuji.
top 109 mountain heights, they're all like Himalayan areas. Like,
Yep.
So K2 is near Everest, but like when you think of other mountains, all the other ones I listed are in different continents, and they're not even in the top 100 of top mountains.
Welcome to the
Like
Himalayas.
there are so many tall mountains in that area. Okay, so we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to. We're gonna start talking about people here a little bit. So
Oh man.
now, what we know what state has the largest population? I mean, that's easy, right?
California, right?
California, of course, Landon. Great job. Now,
Yay.
what state has the
You're
second
such a-
largest population?
Texas, right?
Let's say New York.
Oh,
We have a Texas. We have a
shoot.
New York.
Well, Texas is worth 38, right? Of the Electoral College.
I'm gonna say. You said state.
What state
I'm
population?
gonna say Texas.
It's
How much is-
Texas.
Yeah.
California has 39.5 million people. Texas has 29 million. There was a good thought process though, Will, thinking about like electoral college votes, because what is it, like 700,000 or something people is around there. 700,000 to 900,000 is what allocates one electoral vote, I think.
Yeah, and just the ratio is if you have more Electoral College, like obviously you're going
You
to
have more people, yeah.
people. Yeah.
So California awards the most, then it's Texas, and then I think it's New York, Florida, Pennsylvania.
Good guess.
Okay,
though.
now we're gonna go back to global. We know what country has the largest population.
Dave,
It
we
is-
know.
America.
We know
that.
America.
No,
It's China.
It's China.
We all know.
It's
that.
obviously China. Now, what country has the second highest population?
I'll say
America.
Russia. I'm gonna say Russia.
Yeah,
You
I'd
guys
say
want
Russia,
multiple
too.
choice?
No,
it's not
Or,
Russia.
or Mick? Okay, I want Mick's guess before.
It's not Russia. It's
Africa?
No, it's not Africa.
Africa. Africa's a continent.
Stupid. Gosh dang it.
I could see it maybe being like maybe India or something. Maybe
I was gonna say either Europe.
You know, I'm gonna change my answer. I'm just gonna change my answer to India. That's what I'm gonna change it to.
I was probably gonna go with India.
You guys are correct. It's India. It
Yeah.
goes India, United States, Indonesia, and then Brazil.
Brazil.
Russia is I think Russia is quite a bit. Like there's Pakistan. Pakistan has
really
a
low.
huge population. They're
Mm.
like top 5.
Yep.
Top 5 or 6. China has 1.4 billion
Where-
people.
where's-
India is very quickly catching up.
Where's
with
Africa on that
1.3
list?
billion.
That's too much knowledge.
United
many
States in
numbers.
third. United States in third only has over it's like 340 million people. So like you could fit like 3 United States in India, the population. It's crazy. How many people are in China and India?
I think it's kind of
Next.
Okay.
Next. Okay. Now this is one thing that I've always been interested in as a topic, but building height. Like what's the tallest building in the world? We all
Burj
know the
Dubai.
tallest building, right?
Empire
Burj-
State Building.
Where's Dubai?
I think you mean the Burj Khalifa, but you were close, which is in
Incorrect.
Dubai.
It's in Dubai.
Incorrect answer.
That's how like the people in the know say it. Burj
No,
Dubai.
well, no, because there's a building called the Burj Dubai, but
No,
it's
there's not.
which is not the tallest. So the Burj Khalifa is in Dubai. It's 2,717 feet tall.
Oh my gosh.
What is the second tallest building in the world? And I can give you guys multiple choice on this one if you need it.
I probably need multiple choice.
Yeah.
Okay, we have the Taipei 101 in Taipei, Taiwan. We have the Shanghai Tower in Shanghai, China. We have One World Trade Center in New York City, New York, United States of America. And then we have the Ping An Finance Center in Shenzhen, China.
I'm going to do the Taiwan one. The Taiwan.
Shanghai.
Taipei 101. Okay.
Shanghai.
I'll go with Shanghai.
It's the Shanghai Tower, 2,173 feet. Mick is on a roll. I think you've gotten pretty much every question right. Have you missed one yet?
I have not.
Dang. Okay, we have
privilege.
two
I also went
questions
better
left.
because I didn't say Africa as a
We have,
country.
Shut
we
up.
have
I was joking.
You weren't.
we have two questions left. These are going to be probably one of them might be easy. I don't know. The next one's going to be kind of hard. So
We all know who the greatest president of the United States was. But who's the second greatest?
James Buchanan.
Oh, easy.
Okay, we have World Series wins. We all know who has won the most World Series, right?
The
Okay,
Yankees,
this is where I
right?
lose.
It's the New York Yankees with 29 wins, like unprecedented amount of wins. Now, what team has the second most amount of World Series?
I'm going to say
wins?
the Red Sox.
We have the Boston Red Sox. We have the Brooklyn/LA Dodgers. We have the New York/San Francisco Giants, because, you know, they changed cities over time. And then we have the St. Louis Cardinals.
It's the Red Sox, man.
I think
all
it's
day.
the Red Sox.
I think it's the Red Sox too.
Oh, you guys were so close. It was the St. Louis Cardinals with 11 victories.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna get that one. I don't really know hockey that well.
That's fine. Okay, last one. Second is the best. Domestic film gross adjusted for inflation of all time. Now, this is domestic, not worldwide. Now, we know the film that has the highest domestic gross adjusted for inflation over all time is Gone with the Wind. We all know that. You know, at $1.895 billion. Now, what?
Wait, how much?
1,895,421.
Okay.
Just wait. 1,895,421,694.
Count the
What is
places.
the second highest grossing film adjusted for inflation domestically?
Mm,
And I can give you multiple choice if you'd like.
multiple choice, please.
We have Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. We have The Sound of Music, Titanic, and E.T., the Extraterrestrial.
movie.
Star Wars.
We have a Star Wars from Will,
I'm going to go with Titanic.
Titanic from Landon.
I'd like to use one of my lifelines.
You've already won the quiz. I mean,
Just say ET and go. Like,
no, it's not. No,
And go
it's not
home.
ET.
yeah.
ET phone home.
What was the other one besides Star Wars and Titanic?
Sound
Sound of Music?
Sound of Music.
Ooh. I'll go with Sound of Music.
You're right, Will. It was Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. It raked in $1,668,979,715 when adjusted for inflation.
Yay. I win.
That was second is the best. Michael won by, I think, quite a large margin. He knows
But who was
his,
second
he
in
knows
the
his
quiz?
geography. But Landon got second place, so he is the best.
Wait, what about me?
You were the treasure chest.
Africa, so you
Will.
lost immediately. Okay.
All right, well, that was trivia
thanks,
extraordinaire.
Thanks for that trivia extraordinaire,
Thanks for
Dave.
playing along, guys.
Yeah. Comment down below how you guys did at home. Did you like the quiz?
Make sure
If
to let us
not,
know in the comments.
We all know what the best local Spokane podcast is.
It's no competition.
But what's the second?
Coffee and sweet tea. I wonder how many other local podcasts there are,
Probably a lot. Probably a lot.
but like none is good.
No,
I
definitely
think
not.
every fourth group of like white guys you see has a podcast, right?
Why do they have to be white?
Because there's a lot of white people
Why
in the
do they-
United
why do
States.
they have to be white?
Do you...
Let's not.
Okay,
get into,
let's
let's
not
not
get
get into this. This is a bad time for
Dave,
this.
just cut that, please. Okay. Well, that was our episode for this week. Thank you all for listening. We'll be back next week. I think a little teaser. If you liked this segment, Trivia Extraordinaire, you're gonna like next week.
So if they hate the trivia section,
If you hate Trivia Extraordinaire,
Yeah.
you're gonna hate next
Yeah,
week.
next week will be a little more trivia focused. So we'll probably have a little discussion at the beginning, and then we'll have.
We've just gotten a lot of feedback from everybody that they really love Trivia Extraordinaire, so we're gonna please those that large demographic. of
all our
people.
2,000 Patreons all voted for Trivia Extraordinaire episode. So Make sure you join that 2000s group to change your mind.
All right. All that being said, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Toodle.
This episode of the Hotkeys podcast was brought to you.
No, you made that joke last time.
Yeah, it's not funny.
No,
Yeah,
I
you gotta do another
I
one.
would say you need
No,
a new joke book. You
every
need a
joke.
new material.
No.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Hotkeys podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, CastBox, YouTube, and other podcasting platforms. Visit our website, www.hotkeyspodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at Hotkeys Podcast and join our Facebook group at facebook.com/HKHotkeys. Please like and review us and subscribe to the show on whichever platforms you use. Finally, you can contact us via email at hosts@hotkeyspodcast.com.